Mm. Good morning. Welcome to Viking Preparedness. I am Pastor Joe Fox. Today in this video, I want to talk to y'all about 3 simple steps y'all can take to prepare for EMP strike, volcanoes and tsunamis, alien invasion, civil war, you name it. Prepare for everything. 3 simple steps. They're simple, but they're not easy. Okay? But I was thinking about this recently. There's an article on Drudge, which I peruse every morning, and it's about how scientists say, you know, there's going to be bigger earthquakes and volcanoes and tsunamis and yada yada yada, whatever. I didn't read it in detail. We know this. There will be earthquakes in diverse places. There's always earthquakes, so that means there's going to be big earthquakes, in my opinion. We can read that. And then, you know, there's the people talking everywhere about a potential civil war coming, how we all don't get along, and President Trump is very interested in preparing for an EMP, and, you know, on and on and on, right? And so I think many people have the wrong idea, and doomsday preppers probably did more harm than good here on we're preparing for a economic collapse. Hi, we're the Foxes and we're preparing for a civil war, and we're, you know, everyone, they made them all pick one thing. Now I doubt that all the people on doomsday preppers were only preparing for one thing, but they wanted to keep it crisp for the show, and so they made them say, you know, this is the one thing that we're preparing for. But I do think a lot of people tend to focus on one thing over others. No way an EMP is really going to affect you that badly, people say. What you need to worry about is economic collapse. This whole thing's built on a house of cards. Other people will say, the elites aren't going to let the economy collapse. That's the source of their power. What we need to worry about is pandemic flu. They don't have a handle on that, right? And so people get all kind of focused on one thing. I think our society leads us in that direction. When I worked for national level intelligence back at the turn of the century, doesn't that sound weird? Man, at any given time, it seemed like the country focused on like 3 or 4 things, you know? Read the news. The news focuses on like really 3 or 4 things, and it amazes me how quickly no one cares about something. Whereas yesterday, everybody was breathless about Syria, and we could go to war with the Russians in Syria. Now they don't even consider Syria. It's not like the problem solved itself. Right? ISIS is gone, man. No, they're not. We just don't care anymore. And now we're focused on Venezuela, right? You know, and then soon we won't care about that. We'll be focused on something else. And it's like, don't give me too much to focus on, man. Well, the reality is, this whole house of cards, as it is, you know, life as you know it, could end, could change drastically in a myriad of different ways. And so 3 simple steps to prepare for all of it. The first one, number 1, see if I was cool, I'd go, basic preparedness. You have to be prepared to be on your own, with nothing coming in to help you, and you not being able to go to get anything that you normally get. Whether that is food, I mean, most preppers understand the need to store food, medicine. Now, it's not just medicine though, right? It's, you have to be able to care for your own, and whatever circle you draw around yourself, your people's medical needs. And again, it doesn't matter if a tornado came through and tore up your whole town, or a tsunami hit and you survived, or you know, it's war, or it's an economic collapse, or whatever. You got to have the ability to take care of yourself. And if somebody gets hurt or sick, you're going to have to deal with it. You are going to have to deal with it. And so skills, training, heating and cooling your home, right? You know, depending on where you live. Evidently, if you live in Phoenix, it gets pretty hot in the summertime. What's your plan when you are required, you are responsible for cooling your own home? You live in northern Montana, it's February. How are you gonna heat your home, right? I mean, these are real things that I consider basic preparedness, right? Being able to take care of yourself. And I'm talking in the short term, medium term, a month, right? You know, 30 days, something. Being able to care for yourself. Water, you know, you're going to have to drink. Dun, 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 dun. Basic hygiene, flushing your toilet, you know, dun, 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 dun. All these basic preparedness things, as I'm fond of saying, basic preparedness covers a myriad of situations. And so, yeah, it's a simple thing, but it's not easy, right? But it requires us to focus on more than our AR-15 with all the Goo-Gahs on it, or more than focusing on our 5th handgun, right? Oh, but I got the new one because it's on Combat Handgun Magazine or something. It requires you to kind of have splatter vision a little bit and look at the big picture. So being ready to take care of yourself. Basic preparedness. That's the first simple step. The second step, to prepare for everything from alien invasion to pandemic flu. Maybe the aliens will bring a pandemic disease. People. You need people. You need a crew. It's not just you. You know, I did a video once where I said the two, people love lists. Do y'all like lists? The two things that you got to worry about in Teotihuacan is starvation and people acting badly, right? You're going to need people, because there will be people in any of those situations, because in all those situations there is a breakdown of society. There's a breakdown of rule of law. There is a breakdown of services, and we are very selfish people, at least here in America. I'm not sure how it is where you live, because we do have a lot of international Vikings out there. But as a people, we're kind of selfish, me, and I want it, and people are willing to do a lot of things to get what they want. And when, let's just say, when things break down, there's going to be people behaving badly, and you cannot stay awake 24 hours a day for a whole week pulling security, keeping an eye out, being ready to alert everyone else to get up, they're coming. Right? You're going to need people. You're going to need people when, Yah forbid, somebody in your immediate circle, whoever you do have in your circle, if it's only you in the circle, when you get very ill or injured and stuff still has to get done. Good to have peeps, right? I mean, I said there are 3 simple steps. I hit them a lot, but I want you to understand the concept of why I hit them a lot, because it covers everything if you do these 3 simple things. Basic preparedness, have a crew, a tribe, a mag, a team, a real one. Not some, we get together every 4 to 6 weeks and watch PowerPoint slides, drink coffee, and talk about what we saw in the news. It's not helping you, man. It's not helping you. You got to get with real people and do real things. And the problem with our society, there's many problems with our society. I think a lot of it is by design. I think a lot of it is just, it's just the progression of the human thing, being, is technology. See, we're having a conversation right now, and I bet you a lot of you are nodding. Some of you are arguing right now, blah, 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 which is fine. Now, I want to generate, you know, discussion and thought and that kind of thing. But the reality is, we're not together. I can't help you do squat. I can't pull security for you tonight at 2 in the morning. I can't help set a leg on your broken daughter, you know, the bone. I can't help you put in your garden. I can't help you move this heavy thing. I'm not there. And here's the other thing. You have a pretty good, if you've been around for a while, you have a pretty good sense of me. I'm consistent. And when people meet me, and occasionally I meet with people, they're like, wow, you're just like in your videos. I am. So you have a good sense of me. I don't have a clue who you are, right? I mean, I don't. And most of y'all, and on Patreon, the vast majority of y'all are really cool people. I get that. But I deal with some real whack-whacks. Mostly on YouTube. But wow. And the reason why, I made a comment, I'm going to get back to this, but I guess we're going here. I made a comment on YouTube a while ago, when I did the video for the girl, and I said, here's what you need to do for your bob. And I said, don't pay attention to the idiot comments here on YouTube. Some idiots got really upset with that comment. I'm on YouTube and I'm not an idiot. You are an idiot, because I didn't say everybody on YouTube's an idiot. I said the idiots on YouTube. And there just happens to be more of them for a couple reasons. One, I have a much bigger audience on YouTube, right? It's like, I think we're pushing 120K subscribers. And it doesn't cost people anything. I mean, for most of the patrons here, it costs 3 cents a day, right? Which is really, come on, that's nothing, right? That is nothing. And I try really hard to provide at least 3 cents a day content. But just that step weeds out so much riffraff of just making people pay 3 cents to get in. It just weeds out the idiots, right? People want to be here. They're not just bored surfing through YouTubes to see who they can snark on in the comments. And so, whoo, we went around like that right there. But you need people. You need people. Oh, and so I was talking about there's weird people out there. And I leave some weird comments up, but man, I ban and block and delete a lot of comments on YouTube, because if they're nasty, I just don't want them on my page, and I just slack them. So if you think you've seen nasty comments, you probably haven't seen the half of it. So my point is, there are weird people out there, and those weird people will be still around for a while when things go topsy-turvy. So you need people to deal with what's coming. The Father created us as social beings. It is not good for man to be alone. We form tribes, we form villages. Dunbar's number is an interesting thing to look up. 150 people you can have a serious relationship with at any given time. A theory. You need peeps, right? So you need basic preparedness to deal with anything that's coming. You need people. And here's the third simple but not easy task. You need a plan, not an idea. A plan, which means a plan, you have thought it out, you have analyzed the situation, you have come up with multiple courses of action, and you have selected the best one. Then you have taken steps to be able to execute, to complete, to do this course of action. So if your course of action is, I am going to go dig a big hole in the garden, you have decided where you're going to dig the hole. You have gotten your shovel, your pick, and your rock bar, if that's what you need to dig a big hole. You know what you're going to do with the dirt. You've already got a plan for that, because dirt's coming out of that hole. It's got to go somewhere. You've got your first aid sorted out for if somebody or you injure yourself while you're doing it. Sustenance, food and water. It's going to be hot. It's going to be cold. You got to have clothing, all that. See, you just can't have the idea, I'm going to go dig a hole. That's not a plan. You have to plan it, and then you have to get things staged and ready to go. And so you need a plan to go somewhere else. Wherever you are, you need an alternate bug out location, and it needs to be good. It can't be, well, I'm going to take my bob and I'm going to run out there in them woods. I'm going to make me a little brush shelter. I saw one Survival Lily did. I'm going to do a super shelter. I'm going to hang plastic in the front of it, and I'll be fine. But the reason you need an alternate location, that's step 3. You need a bug out plan. No matter where you are, you could live here. You need a bug out plan. It's because things change. Asteroid strikes, nuclear war, disease, tsunami, Most of the people live on the coast in the world. Big tsunamis coming, you need to go somewhere else. And when you get there, you need to be ready for Tiawaki, because the whole world's going to be disrupted. Your world is. So you need a good bug out plan, no matter where you are. You want to, yes, try to put yourself in the best position you can right now, which I believe the Ozarks is perfect. But man, something could easily happen here that makes this untenable, or where you are untenable, and you've got to have a plan to go deal with that. The aliens could land in Joplin, right, and start spreading out. Not a good place to be in the Ozarks at that point, right? Got to go somewhere else. So you should have a plan, a good plan. So you need basic preparedness. You need people. You need a group, a tribe, a mag, and then you need an alternate plan for when this falls apart. Where am I going? If you do those 3 simple, not easy steps, you will be prepared for, pull a number out of my ear, 97.3% of any Tiawaki type situation that could occur. You'll be ready for a lot of different things. And so that's what I encourage you all to work on. Don't get focused on one thing. It's okay to look at it a little bit, like, you know, you think that the economy is going to collapse. Okay, well, guess what? The economy is going to collapse in any of those big situations, because life is not going to be normal anymore, right? So the economy as we know it is going to collapse. So don't get too tied into that. You could get tied into, well, the nuclear power plant could quit working because of these reasons, and it could melt down, and all that stuff's coming towards me. So I need, you know, thyroid, iodine, what's that, Ki? Potassium iodide. I need potassium iodide. I need a gas mask. I need, you know, you don't really need a gas mask for fallout, but that's another thing. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, don't just stay there though. Focus on the whole big picture. Basic preparedness, being able to take care of you and yours. And I would start with, like, you know, 30 days to 6 months, and then you can work out from there. But you should be able to be on your own completely for at least 3 months. I mean, come on. Basic preparedness, have a group, have a crew, have people. Could be kin, could be neighbors, could be the mag, whatever, but you need people. And so many people, that's so hard for them. And they're like, well, I'll just wait till it happens, and then I'll gather my tribe. It'll be so much better if you do these things now. You will do so much better. I won't be talking to you in that event. I won't be able to give you advice. Nobody that you can't reach out and touch will be able to give you advice in some big catastrophic event like that. You need peeps, and then you need a plan, a real plan to go somewhere else. Work on these things and you'll be ready for anything. All right. Hey, beautiful spring has sprung. I am loving it. We are almost done with our house, but I think I'm boring y'all with that, so that's what I'm going to work on today. I appreciate y'all. I really do. I appreciate you on Patreon. It's so much more elevated discussion here. The comments are good. The questions are good. The back and forth is good. We are good people here. And I am appreciative of that. I'm appreciative of you. All right. I'll see you out there.